You ready to start your day? Yeah. Okay, let's go. And there we go. I don't know if you guys have seen the TikTok ad for the girl who's currently playing Elsa on Broadway, but she's in a couple of ads, or at least one, with Pharmacy for the green screen cleansing balm. And honestly, never been a better ad in my life because she has to take off all that green twice, like, well, multiple times a day, because she changes it between Alphabet looks different at the end of the show between the beginning of the show, so they have to change it when they're doing 2 show days, but also at the end. Honestly, it's the best ad you'll ever see in your life. I was successfully exhausted last night and did none of my skincare, which isn't normal, but it happens every now and again. So I've been catching up on editing this morning, and honestly, we're opening the fridge right now. It is just pure chaos in here. We're not even going to touch that until tomorrow before my factory meals come in, because I know that I'm going to need to do a nice big clean and sort up. I might take the drinks thing out. There's a lot just happening here right now, but I need to have a quick little lunch situation because we're going to go for a walk, and I might have honestly prevented myself from having any kind of options this week. We have been doing Factor on and off for like the last couple of months. I know everybody promotes it, and honestly, it's been such a helpful thing. I found that the one meal a day I was really struggling with was lunch, and like I would get to that point and it was just, I'd gotten in the habit of delivering things where it's just, when you're the one who's cooking all the time, taking care of all the meals for yourself, it gets really exhausting after a while. So I think I still have some Factor codes left if you guys want one, for all the different discounts, but I think we're going to eat some portion of this chicken and mushroom cauli rice risotto. I'm sure I won't eat all of it. I never eat all of these meals. And then we're going to get ready here to go grab a little coffee and go for a little Sunday walk. This was not the plan that I had working up this morning. I do want to do a little bit of prep and just kind of getting myself ready for this week, because I feel like that makes such a big difference. I have a couple of workout things that I think I want to try this week, since we spent this last week kind of trialing the potential workout plan that I wanted. But I have some things, some thoughts and feelings that I will share with you guys a little bit later on, there's no way to do that subtly, on kind of what I want to do going forward. But for now, we're going to refuel and get ready, and then go cuddle on the couch with Bear for a little bit longer until Savannah picks me up at like 1, so in like an hour. I was gonna say we need to do something this hair, but this might be the actually only day that we can pull off not doing much. Oh, wow, that's new and challenging. I don't necessarily love a like far side part because it just makes my head look wider. I'll throw a cap on over this. I just really need something that suits my walk, and if I cannot pull it back, that would be great. We could have like an actual short hair moment, but at the same time, if we just need to like do a little low pony and have that moment, I'm down for that. Let's pick the outfit first. If Mr. Snowman is gonna hold you. Okay, so I love these little tanks from Amazon, but for a pear-shaped body, they're actually a little bit too square. So see, everything's just kind of meh. So I normally try to tie them, and I feel like my brain has stopped knowing how to tie in the back, which is why I've been tying everything in the front for so long, because my fingers just couldn't figure out how the tie worked when I couldn't see it. But maybe we'll get it today. Right. We are tied in. Let's figure out the face. Do a little Giorgio Armani C today. I keep getting whiffs of the wreath because I put it on my door and it just smells so good. It was such a fun class. I feel like partly because I just got to really enjoy the sunshine and do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but also everyone there was so nice. I learned a bunch. I do feel like it's something that I could do like maybe a little bit more solo in the future, figuring out how to source everything and kind of throwing a little party for all of my girlfriends to do it. That would be fun. So definitely future me, do it yourself. But I don't really want to do a lot of makeup today, especially because we obviously did not take it off last night. So let's cover our bases here and just give me a little bit of something to work with. I don't think all of the mascara came off my eyes last night anyways. But honestly, dinner was so good. We just had what was probably my dream day yesterday. The fact that I kind of got to do all of the things, and I really felt like it's been the first time in a while where I've just had a day where I haven't been worrying about everything. Because I've been so like quote unquote intentionally learning to manifest for the last few years, I feel like it's brought a lot of attention to things. It's created a lot of worry and stress in my life in a way that I'm changing how I kind of do that in the future. And yesterday was just one of those days where if you weren't worrying about all of the things and you were really truly present in your life and you were just doing all of the things that you wanted to be doing and it was magical, like that was yesterday for me. And I haven't had that in such a long time, or if I have, I haven't been present enough to know that that's what I was experiencing. And so to have that yesterday just made such a big difference for me. Such a like just genuine, impactful, amazing, incredible day. And I know that I said at the beginning of Vlogmas we wouldn't be doing that much, but honestly, it just feels like a good time of the year to do certain things, and we're kind of taking it like one day at a time. I'm not planning a ton of stuff, but if things become easy and available and like just inspired, that's what we're doing. I do want to try kind of putting it out into the universe. We'll kind of see how it goes. To see the Nutcracker this week. I've wanted to do it for years, but this is one of the first years that I've thought about even going here locally. I know that it might not be the most grand of productions, but it would still be nice to kind of have that experience in my hometown, support the local ballerinas. We already know that I need to go scrub my lips before I do this, so hopefully we'll get to do that this week.
I've been to Tennessee, gone to like Ober Gatlinburg to go skiing, but like, but it wasn't even real snow. Like
they have to keep it.
Yeah, it's just it's them making the snow, and there was no actual real snow. I was like, I
remember being so pissed that the first semester that it snowed when I was in college, I'd come home. I mean, I've sufficiently gotten enough snow situations since then that like, I think we were all trapped in houses because the city wasn't prepared for it, so they didn't ice everything, so people were abandoning their cars on the freeways. Like, Bear and I made a lot of granola and hung out in my apartment for 3 days, and it was a city that was not prepared for it. It was a hot, actual mess. No, I'm okay. I'm gonna transfer it.
Right there we are. Perfect, thank you.
Yay! I don't know if you guys can read that, but it is the other version of my current obsession. I feel like I do this all year. It's gonna pull out. It's gonna fall, and we'll just let it fall.
I think we'll have it
Figure out at some point.
So just got home. It was such a good little walk, but Bear brought me outside because I think he wanted a little bit of backup so that he could go to the bathroom, because sometimes I have to like jump on him and he just can't handle that. But I do think I'm trying to find a snack, and then we're gonna do a cozy evening. I haven't decided if I want to just save laundry for tomorrow. We might do a little bit of a refresh and prep, do some laundry, do some cleaning, all that jazz tomorrow. And this evening, see if there's anything that strikes my fancy as far as meal planning goes, and then just spend some quality time with him. I promised I would watch a movie on the couch with him tonight. What are you doing? Your brother is slowly looking at the fact that you're out here. Asher loves to lay in the dirt as though he's not a white dog. could not care less that he has a white dog. Yeah, I see you. Doing all of the things. I bought myself the Ambitious Kitchen Cookbook for Christmas. I asked for this to be my Christmas gift. And I have really fallen in love with her pancake recipe, her protein pancake recipe. I've been baking it for months. I am so fussy about food recipes. Like, a lot of the times I will completely ignore what people are doing, or I just feel like I make it and then I get to the end and I don't actually like the taste. Like, their taste buds don't match my taste buds. So when I find somebody whose recipes I actually like and they have a cookbook, I tend to cook through more of their things. I've learned that that's just one of those things that you don't necessarily think is a big deal, but if somebody's taste buds don't match yours, kind of in the same way the style works, it's not a good vibe. But I did pick this up and I haven't had a chance to kind of flick through it. So we're going to do that this evening and see if there are any kind of recipes calling my name. I don't know how much I want to flick through right this second because I did just place a dinner order and I'm kind of hungry. And I think this is going to make me even hungrier, but this is my plan for the week. We do have a factor order coming tomorrow, but I will chat more about this maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. I have a few new things that I want to try out as far as where we're kind of taking our approach with health and fitness and all that kind of going into the new year. But I did want to see what kind of things were vibing in here, what I was feeling. I honestly feel like I'm at a point right now where we're going to spend the next 2 weeks kind of testing and tweaking my habits and routines. I really don't want to have to kind of go into what I'm calling like the emotional weight loss chapter, which trigger warning for that kind of conversation. I don't want to have to go into that where I'm really counting. Like, I don't want it to be that I'm so focused on the numbers that I'm not listening to my intuition, because a lot of times that just doesn't serve me. So figuring out what portion of tracking is relevant to give me an idea of things, really kind of looking at how is my body behaving, what feels best for me to eat with the routine that I'm doing, kind of sussing out the little details over the next few weeks to get it to a point where it feels like it's a bit more streamlined and easy to follow, I think is kind of the goal. But I do want to look through this and get some good ideas for just some tasty meals or things that I might want to make when I'm feeling in the mood to kind of cook something. It has been a few days since we've done this. I needed to take a second to kind of catch up with my own brain, but I just got several of my delayed Black Friday orders in, so I thought I'd share them before we get into this week's vlog. That light is probably going to die really quickly, and we talk about my wellness updates and the goals we're setting for the new year, because that feels like an important conversation. So I ordered 3 different sweaters from J.Crew on Black Friday. I have to say I am a cashmere sweater girly when I can make it work for my life. And honestly, this is one of those things where I feel like I try to stock up on a new color every year to kind of expand my full range. And these, I knew if I didn't grab them while they had them in these bright colors, they would never have them again, and I would be so sad. So, but with this nice green, we have a gorgeous pink, and then we also have this stunning purple and textured number, which I am the most excited to wear. I am traveling tomorrow and we knew the light was gonna die. I'm gonna try to find us a different light, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, so I placed a little Target order. I placed many drive up orders throughout the week because I need things, and honestly I was kind of digging through the website for just little bits and bobs, things that kind of caught my eye. And is this not absolutely stunning? Like, totally could wear for a holiday party, but also this just would make a dress moment. I feel like it was not that much, just $25. So love her. Love a statement bag like this. Need to find somewhere to put it, but like, look at that. It's so cute. Okay, the other 2 things that I got, I put this in my Black Friday order. It's Unseen, Unpublished Black History from the New York Times Photo Archives. I realized that I don't have a lot of just like books that are representative of different cultures, different ethnicities, different experiences in that way, at least in my house. And I want to see the faces of different humans and their experience in my world all the time. So I've been really trying to intentionally reach into other ethnicities and experiences to kind of share in their stories, and I feel like this is such a beautiful way to do that. So much that I get to read about, so much that I get to learn about, and especially just seeing history in this way. I do love history kind of in the context of photographs side by side. I feel like I learned so much. And then lastly, this is a very unexpected gifting. My gifting is all over the place and I don't tend to be the best about reaching out to brands, but I did recently connect with Current Body on a new platform called Flagship, which we might talk about in an upcoming vlog. And they offered to send me the LED light therapy mask. I think this might be the newest one. Now here's the thing about this. I'm currently behind on my Botox and I feel like the retinol I'm using right now is itching my skin, which is great because it means I can take like less time in using that and actually get some proper like before and after photos and videos and things like that, because I don't like to assume. I like being just as wild as you guys are with the evidence of just seeing the time progression, because that's the biggest thing is like I can think that I'm seeing it, but I see my face in so much light and like I'm not gonna remember every freckle. I'm not gonna remember every line. So I will start researching and kind of testing this out so that we can get the best information. But I am so excited and so grateful. Honestly, I've wanted one of these for freaking forever. So it's a beautiful moment and I'm so grateful that I was able to get one for us to be able to test, because it makes it easier for me to test things for you guys. But we have wellness things to talk about, so I'll catch back up with you tomorrow when I'm working out in the gym. My hair looks absolutely crazy from this angle, but it's because she's pulled back and we're just trying to fight the bangs as we go. However, the plan for this morning is to do the Wicked Run, the outdoor run for Peloton. One of my favorite things about the way that they've kind of updated this over the last few years is that if you're somebody who feels a little unsure about your running skills, or you just have mixed feelings about not being able to do the full and complete workout, or you really want to work out where you feel like you can do most of it. Sometimes I like to do ones where I'm just vibing with the playlist and I want to see how much I can push myself and I'm less concerned about the actual structure of the class or doing it right. And then there are sometimes where I want to have those kind of intervals where I really am like asking myself to step up a little bit more and I know that I can push myself. Or in the case of today, I just really wanted to do like this specific class. But it does have it kind of set up so you can find out what the different intervals are, and you can click on it and see how many minutes you're going to be running, how many minutes you're going to be walking. So if you're wanting to integrate this in, as opposed to maybe like the couch to 5K, you can still kind of get that structure with this. But I do love the outdoor runs as well as the tread and like putting it on the TV. But the outdoor runs are great because it'll tell you when to turn back. So if you're somebody who just needs to get out of your space, that's perfect. So we're going to do this morning also because we love the playlist. It's the new one and it starts with No One Mourns the Wicked. I'm looking forward to just kind of feeling the release of all the things running during Defying Gravity. And then while we get ready this morning, I'm going to chat a little bit about some of my new health and fitness plans for the new year. And I want to give that warning because I know that I'm going to be chatting a little bit about weight loss and kind of just my approach to losing the emotional weight and what I'm really doing this season that I haven't done before. We're going to touch on it a little bit. And I wanted to bring you guys along for that because that'll definitely be a part of the content that I'm creating at the beginning of the year. And I'm also just really excited about the kind of release that comes from healing and like letting things go in. Insanely red my face is, but I just finished the run and my stretches, and honestly it's probably the best run that I've done in a while. It's one of those things where one of my favorite reasons to do those kind of runs is that you honestly end up realizing just how much you've been doubting yourself, just how much you've been holding yourself back, just how much you didn't like believe you were capable. It's really easy to see and feel things when you're on the tread and like see a number and kind of attach that to your limitations. But runs like that, and specifically runs like the Peloton runs, because I know it's always going to tell me when I need to turn back, so I don't have to worry about going too fast or going too slow. Like I know my neighborhood well enough that I can like kind of navigate that. I always find I run so much faster. Like I just kind of take anything and everything that I need to let go of into that run, and I'm always faster than I think. I always just find spaces where I have stuff that I get to release, and like I was struggling to breathe so hard at the end that I was almost kind of crying and just letting things go. There were definitely a couple of cries for today's run, but it was so worth it. Of any of the runs that I've done, of any of the things that I've wanted to do consistently, I have to say I think the Peloton outdoor runs have always been the thing that makes me enjoy running, because it's running for fun. It's not running where you're trying to train for a 5K. It's very much a take what you need kind of a thing. Like, you can't do it wrong. You just do it in the best way. And also the fact that, like, you kind of never know the conditions when you're going outside for a run. Just like you never really know how your body's going to be on a tread, but like, I never know if I'm going to end up having an interval where I need to run the hill the full time, or if it's going to be really windy and I'm going to be facing resistance the whole run. So I don't necessarily do it for any kind of time or any kind of goals in that way. I was really always just about taking what I need from it, and it's transformative every single time. So I'm gonna finish stretching. I just did my like nice little cool down kind of thing, and then I think I'm gonna pop on a quick little YouTube meditation just to get some visualization into my morning. And then we need to wash my hair and get ready for the day, and also maybe throw on the Current Body mask. I'm getting ready to put my skincare on, but I just finished using the Current Body mask, and I thought I would show you guys kind of the progress, because I'm also out of my Tatcha Harper clarifying cleanser, but I've noticed that I've had a few more little spots right here. Could be very much purging, could be the fact that I haven't had that cleanser for a minute. You can see there's a little bit of kind of redness right here. I do feel like it's maybe taking my freckles down like a smidge, but also it looks like we've got something kind of going on over there, and this is just the third time I've used it so far, so I'm very curious to see what it looks like. Well, I'm gonna pick up my cleanser later in the week so we can kind of rule that out on our scientific experiment here, but so far so good. It is just really bad, like I said before, remembering to use it after I've washed my face and knowing that like I have to make time for it, which can be easier at night, but honestly it's a nice just excuse to kind of meditate and chill in my morning routine. But let's do skincare real quick and then chat about wellness goals for 2025. So if you've been around the channel for a while, you will know that I've gone on quite the journey with food. And I think it's kind of standard for how a lot of us have kind of approached the wellness era, the wellness community. But I went on a journey to heal a lot of things within my body, and that led me down the path of a lot of different rabbit holes that I feel like a lot of people are kind of still discovering. I definitely went down the rabbit hole of dealing with non-birth control and hormones and all of that before it became mega popular on the internet. But in saying all of that, I've gone down so many different rabbit holes and have explored all of these different diets and things for different reasons. And I don't know that I fully realized that was what I was doing when I started 2024, but I really kind of set out at the beginning of the year that I just wanted to no longer have a toxic relationship with food. Whatever that looked like, wherever that took me, however that kind of showed up for me, I just wanted to not have any guilt around any kind of food choices for myself. In the process of that, I definitely have seen my body change. I've gained weight, I've lost weight. It's been, you know, the journey that kind of comes with that. But I think what happens for a lot of us, and it happens at least like the way that I recognized it more easily when I was younger, is it happens a lot with religion, where it's, you know, you have your parents' beliefs, and then as you get older, it becomes your job to figure out how they work for you and if they work for you and why they do or don't work for you, and kind of how you get to and want to approach all of the things that kind of come with that. And I very much have kind of felt the same way when it comes to diet. I went through a really long phase of, you know, obviously having some kind of diet I followed, because in a lot of ways it just makes it easier to feel like you can't fail. It makes it easier to feel like you can feed yourself. It makes it easier to make food less stressful because you just know what you're saying yes and no to. Like, diets kind of create that freedom in a way. But what I needed this year was there were a lot of areas in which I just never kind of tested the water. I never really let myself go there to see, what does it actually look like for my body to respond to this? How do I actually feel when I do this? What does that mean for me? Where am I maybe not eating something that I actually need because I have some belief about whether or not I should eat it? Like, what does my body actually need? And can I actually listen to my body? And I know that so many people will kind of come to the realization that, like, in doing that process, you realize that maybe your biggest fear is gaining weight. But the problem with that being your biggest fear, at least for me at one point, is that if that's your biggest fear, then you might be in a position of never taking the action that you need to take to heal any kind of thing that comes up with your body, because you're not willing to take the steps because you associate whatever you need to do. Sometimes that might be eating fruit. Sometimes that might be incorporating some kind of food into your diet. You associate that with gaining weight, and that's like the ultimate, like, I can't do that. That's not acceptable for me. I won't be loved if I do that. There's like a whole spiral that goes there. So in saying that, I kind of went on my journey this year of just letting myself eat whatever, letting myself have whatever relationship with food, kind of just going down the path that I needed to take. And I think that's one of those things where you just kind of have to honor that you need to take the journey, even if you don't love what you're seeing at the time of the journey. Like, the journey is kind of necessary. So as we're going into 2025, I've learned a lot this year. I've really kind of been able to continue to observe what works for my body, what doesn't work for my body, how I'm feeling my body, and how I'm kind of stepping into the next year is different than how I feel like I've approached this before, but it's how I've approached all of the other things that I've really cultivated and created in my life. And I'm taking that same method to attack kind of just manifesting my dream body. I'd say creating it, but it is partially manifesting and creating my dream body. When I say manifesting, I mean that I'm not just going to sit here and pick the diet that I'm going to apply for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. I know that what I've learned is that my body kind of thrives the best on a paleo-based diet. I do really well with healthy fats in my diet and like a decent amount of them, and just more like when I have fruits and those are kind of my carbs and vegetables are kind of my carbs, like my body tends to thrive on that. There's still some element of sweet treats, but honestly, I just feel the best and I feel the most supported and energized when I have like a majority paleo-based diet. So that's something that I've learned over the years and something I feel comfortable with kind of stepping into in the next year, because I've really given myself the space to just try everything without giving myself or shaming myself for any of the choices that I've made, so that now I can step into it and say, you know what, this is what works for me and I trust that. And if I need to adapt it at some point, I'm willing to adapt it. But right now, I know what works for me and I'm willing to trust what works for me. Here's the thing about kind of picking a diet and doing it like that, is that a lot of times what you want to do is also feel like you need to control and track everything that you're eating. And I do feel like that can be helpful every now and again if you feel like maybe there's something going on that you don't have the full scope of being able to see, whether or not that's like, you know what, I'm feeling like I'm really tired, or maybe I don't get as much protein in the morning as I think I'm getting, and it might be more helpful for me to add like 5 grams here. So let's see what that looks like. There are ways where tracking kind of is helpful, but at the same time, the thing that I've done over the last couple of years, really heavily last year, and then I'm doing really heavily as kind of, this is part of the foundation of what I'm doing for 75 Love this time, is that I'm processing the emotions that I haven't looked at before. I'm really sitting and like visualizing the version of me that already has all of this and has already kind of walked through all of this, and like, what is she letting go of, and how does she just kind of do this as her standard, and what does it look like if you already are maintaining this and you're not somebody who's trying to lose it, or still tweaking and fixing your diet, or still going down all of these rabbit holes. Like, if you're sitting in the energy of living your life as this person that already has it, and this is a very individual experience, what does it look like for me to maintain this, and what do I feel like I have resistance to with that? What are the things that if I'm seeing it, what is the part of me that says I can't do that because, and then kind of dismantling that. Now, kind of the challenge of taking that approach is that it's a little less easy to quantify for somebody else to repeat. I can kind of create the meditations, I can create the visualizations, I can help you with the questions, but it's such a like an individualized journey. But it's one that I feel like is just the one that, especially as a woman, is the most important, because if you can't do that, and if you can't kind of walk through it and help yourself walk through it, you aren't able to adapt. And as women, if we choose to be childbearing and like we want to have that and it works for our bodies to do that, we probably have to go on this journey a couple of times. So it can't just be, oh my God, this is the only thing that works. This is the only thing that I do. Like, I have to trust myself that no matter what, that like the version of me that's been in my head for a really long time is the version of me that gets to be standard. And I always kind of get to come back to that no matter what may happen on my journey or along the way. We'll obviously be sharing that for you guys in the new year, and sharing some of the kind of practical choices that go along with that. You know, the walking, the meditations, the choosing to go for runs a couple of days a week. Right now my plan is to run 3 days a week and then to do 2 days a week of a mat and weight Pilates at home and then to do like a reformer Pilates once a week. And that just feels like the vibe for me because I get to go for my walks. I kind of get to have the space that I need to have in the process of this where I'm truly kind of aware of where I'm pushing myself, where I'm holding myself back. A lot of working out for me is really showing and proving to myself that I'm capable of more than sometimes I just let myself believe. And that ends up fueling and kind of helping me determine what workouts I need at any given time, because there are different things that teach me and show me that, especially in different seasons. But this is the best time of the year, I know, for me living in Florida, to really cultivate that love of running and doing all of these things because the weather is so perfect. And there's a lot more flexibility if I need to procrastinate or I find myself procrastinating, because I don't have to worry about the fact that I needed to spend or just procrastinated a little bit longer in the bed this morning and then I can't go for a run until 9 or 10 o'clock versus having to go really early. In the summertime, it's like 80 plus 85, 90 degrees. And once you hit that point, it feels like death outside. So this is the time of the year where I really get to kind of switch into that mode and kind of cultivate that extra level of just building the habits that I know that I really want, but there are more challenges in the way at other points in the year. But I have every faith that that will be the journey for us this year and that will work for us this year. And that as much as I really didn't want to be like a quote unquote wellness channel, because I find that a lot of the like health channels are all about challenges and they're all about putting your body through things. I'm very much the person that if I find the solution to the problem, I'm just going to vibe with that for a while. And I would rather be about sustaining a healthy lifestyle, like mentally, just your joy, your physical health, your like spiritual health, all of that. I would rather that be a part of the channel versus the challenges, because that just doesn't feel sustainable to me. But also I'm a very like, I know what works for me and what doesn't, and I'm very much open to trying all of the things. But if I get 2 weeks into a challenge and I think, you know what, actually this isn't supporting me, I'm gonna bail. I'm not gonna stay another 2 weeks and make myself miserable. So challenges would never work for me for that reason, because I'm just always adjusting and adapting to what I feel like works the best for me. And sometimes that requires me being like, yeah, nope, sorry, can't go there, can't do that. We need to be selfish in this moment. But I, of course, will share components of that going into the new year. I know that not everybody is in that space or that everybody really wants that. So I will try to do my best to kind of make sure that however I title the vlog and whatever way I choose to kind of incorporate that in the conversation, that it's clear that I'm going to talk about it, so that if you are in maybe a different part of that journey and you're just really healing and this feels very triggering, that I assume you're probably not still listening, but if that becomes a part of your journey, that you don't find yourself in a video that's going to just take you out. Like, I love you and I would rather you just play me on mute and walk away, and like you can give me a view if that's the supportiveness, but you don't need to sit here and listen to me if it's going to trigger the shit out of you. But if that is you and you're looking to kind of also go on that journey, 75 Love starts January 1st. And this is something you can do for whatever area of life you're trying to change or adjust, or just feel like you're tired of the way that it's working for you. There's not like a limitation to how 75 Love works or what you can do it with. I do feel like depending on what I'm tackling at any given time with this specific kind of method, I tend to change the journal prompt. So at some point we'll probably have a more cohesive database of just, if this is what you're looking to accomplish during 75 Love, these are the journal prompts you kind of need, because it gets created as I go. But this is what I'm tackling this time. So I will likely be sharing these journal prompts in the Patreon group specifically for this group of humans that wants to kind of go on this journey. And then there will also be an ebook that you can purchase kind of separately if you're wanting to do that and like kind of take it from what we did the last time with 75 Love. But if you're watching this and you're kind of thinking, okay, well, why doesn't she just do Ozempic or hop on some kind of other thing? Like, why is she making this a whole thing that we need to have a conversation about? And it's for a few reasons. Number one, for me, where I'm at in my like phase of life, the cost of doing those kind of drugs does not feel like it's worth the price for me. I've seen so many people do them, and I've seen people who've really needed it, like very close friends or family who've done it, and it's transformed their lives and they needed the help, and it's been phenomenal for them. I don't think I'm in that place, but also there are mental costs to that. There are a lot of people who struggle with depression, and it's amplified that, and it's made it really just kind of come out of nowhere for them as a side effect of the medicine. And I'm very cognizant of my own like family history with mental health and just not stepping on any landmines that I don't need to step on. So for me, it doesn't feel like that's a space that I want to go into, but I also just don't feel like that resolves the things that I need to resolve. That doesn't fix the internal stuff that helps me sustain it, and to not get on the other side of it and have all of the like negative mental issues that so many people have. Like, I just want to get on the other side of it and also know that I'm just as worthy of being loved, but also that I'm like choosing to do this in a way that changes my actions, and it doesn't leave me with, again, spending the rest of my life with food guilt or constantly living in fear that I might gain the weight back, because I'm actually dealing with the crap that needs to be dealt with for me personally, so that I can maintain and achieve the things that I want to maintain and achieve. But that is enough of chatting about that. I will leave the info for 75 Love, like the blog posts, other things that might help you understand that in the description box below. There's also a video on the channel about it. But we are getting ready for my last nail appointment of the year. This nail is still, she's almost there. She's almost fully secure. I noticed, and this might be TMI, it might be a little, it wasn't as weird as I thought it was, but it was a minute of, I noticed that there was something kind of under my nail, and I was wondering if it was honestly, like, if my nail was still kind of growing out underneath, if maybe it had been secured a little funny because we got the gel on top. But what I realized is that actually the skin that kind of secures your nail to your finger, that the like whatever had kind of been damaged and that it had separated from was growing out underneath, which wasn't a big deal, but it took me a minute to figure out what it was. And I just kind of went in and got like some tiny scissors to just get rid of it so that it wasn't underneath, but we're almost fully secure there. So I've picked out my nail design. I did not send it to Victoria ahead of time, so hopefully we'll be okay today, but these were really fun. Honestly, I was a little worried that these would be kind of too dark on the blue. I felt like when I originally saw it, because a lot of times if you're just looking at it in like a casual space, there's not enough light reflecting off of it. But honestly, in the house and in like a lot of different angles, it was just really pretty to see all of the different ways that they kind of changed into the light, because the glitter in this catches light really well. So even in like the back room, if you're like kind of sitting under a light editing, there was a lot of just sparkly bits, like really sparkly bits. Like any kind of photos I took, it looked like pure reflection off of my fingers. It was just like pure shine. But in the more casual spaces, it just made them really glittery and fun. So love that. I will say this kind of like adding texture to the snowflake can discolor. It did pretty well because I feel like I was able to kind of help keep it clean, but sometimes if you're not too on top of that, it can also discolor. So just noting, if you're somebody who's going to play in a lot of stuff and you want to be able to get it off, this is like textured on top and there's not a top coat that goes on this, so it's definitely going to grab any kind of color. But I think we've done kind of good for the last couple of weeks, and I'm excited to do my last nails of 2024. We're doing New Year's nails. I've already done like 2 rounds of Christmas, so we're doing like black, sparkly, glittery fun for New Year's. But let's pick an outfit for that and do my hair. So we're doing a bit of Florida winter today, which means it's like 74 degrees outside, but I want to wear this little soiree bag. I think we're gonna do the leather shorts that kind of go with it. This feels like the start of my outfit. The nail salon is always casual, like it's not too cold and it's not too hot. So what top do we want to go with this? Literally sitting here wondering why I hate everything in my closet today. I don't, but I also do. I think we're just gonna go with, probably because it's what's in front of my eye, we're gonna go with a classic little outfit today. I just love these tops from J.Crew, and these also, like this particular collarbone hitting is one of my biggest tips for pear-shaped girlies. It just makes all of the difference. I'm not in the mood to put on Spanx. I don't feel like faffing with all of that today. Also, this nail, she is feeling a little more precarious than I thought. So we're gonna keep it kind of simple, basic, easy, and just an outfit I can get in. I also think I need to turn the air conditioner on. It's feeling a little toasty in here, even though it is December. Nails are officially sorted. They look so good. we're slowly healing the other one, so I'm very excited about that. But I just got home and I'm going to finish editing this vlog so I can get it uploaded for you guys for tomorrow. So I love you guys. I hope you're all having a beautiful day wherever you are, and I will see you all in a new video next week.